Welcome to the jungle, everyone. I'm Kyle Phelps, and Week 8's about to make every blood pressure cuff in America work overtime. We've got redemption arcs coming, quarterback meltdowns that are sure to happen, and just enough of the Chiefs being good again, and the Colts pretending to be the 99 Rams to make me cry at night. If Sunday football feels like an emotional hostage situation, then you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button before your buddies accuse you of getting your highlights from Facebook Reels. Grab a drink, take a breath, and hold on to your butts because Week 8's coming. Last week, Justin Herbert threw for a franchise 420 yards and still got slapped around by Daniel freaking Jones. That's how things are going in Charger land right now. Fans are already posting the meltdown memes. Meanwhile, Minnesota fans are posting Carson Wentz coke threads so desperate that they read like country songs. The Vikings move the ball fine until they sniff the red zone, and then they just forget that football exists entirely. So basically this week you got two teams that are allergic to finishing anything, like drives, games, probably therapy for their fans. Herbert might end up carving up that soft Vikings secondary, but Wentz is probably also going to hand him some tragic, cosmically hilarious moment just because that's Carson Wentz's brand. So it feels like a game that the Chargers should win, but you know, it's the Chargers. We'll see. Next up, we got my Bengals game. They're taking on the New York Jets at home this week. The Bengals finally remembered that winning football games is indeed legal, thanks to Joe Flacco, yes, that Joe Flacco, who showed up fresh last week before the Packers game, off of what looked like the beginning of probably a soft retirement for him. He basically told Aaron Rodgers, there's only room for one geriatric quarterback in this fucking division. The Bengals offense looked like a time machine from 2021 last week. Jamar Chase out here catching a franchise record 16 damn passes, which that didn't even happen in 2021. Meanwhile, the Jets are 0-7 at this point, and they look like they're visibly decomposing on live television. Justin Fields got benched for Tyrod Taylor. That's not necessarily a good thing for the Bengals considering their history with backup quarterbacks. But Tyrod Taylor immediately showed up and threw more balls to Panthers defenders than his own receivers, it looked like. Please don't lose to the fucking Jets, Bengals. Next up, you got the Miami Dolphins going to Atlanta. So far this season, the Miami Dolphins might be putting up the single most depressing season in sports history, unless you count the time the Browns didn't win a single game, or the other time where the Lions didn't win a single game, or probably a bunch of other Browns and Lions seasons, honestly. Meanwhile, Atlanta just got bullied by Christian McCaffrey like he still owns stock in them from the NFC South days. So now, this week, it's Atlanta-geddon. You've got a team allergic to points, facing a squad allergic to consistency. Somebody's got to win this thing. I couldn't tell you who it was going to be, but I'm not entirely sure I care. But here's an interesting stat for you. Drake May had a 91% completion rate last week. That's nuts, honestly. The Browns finally remembered the points count if you're playing football. They dropped 31 points on a Miami team, to be fair, but behind rookie Quishon Judkins. Cleveland fans are calling him Baby Chubb and pretending Dylan Gabriel's the future, but honestly, chill, y'all. Come on. Now, the Browns' defense can hit hard, but trying to stop May's laser-guided passing seems like a bit of a tall task. So if the Dog Pound wants another miracle, they better pray for rain. Next up, you got the New York Giants going to Philadelphia to play the Eagles. The Giants last week put up the rarest achievement in football, managing to lose a game so badly that they make Bo Nix look like prime Michael Vick. That's disgusting, guys. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Eagles actually remember that they're supposed to be good. Jalen Hurts went full Super Bowl mode, dropped 326 yards and 3 touchdowns so smooth you might have missed it. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith were roasting corners like backyard barbecue skewers. To be completely honest, the way it's been going the last couple of weeks, it kind of feels like the Giants are walking into a buzzsaw with wings. Next up, the Buffalo Bills going to the Panthers, and this could be a nice reset game for them, or it could be a complete disaster. because the Buffalo Bills are in full existential crisis mode right now. Despite what Mikey thinks, you'll hear what he has to say a little bit later. They've gone from 4-0 juggernauts to 4-2 panic attacks quicker than their fans fall through those tables, y'all. Meanwhile, Carolina is living its best delusional life. Rico Dowdle just dropped 239 yards on his old team. Bryce Young actually looked like an NFL quarterback for 3 hours, and Panthers fans are suddenly talking playoffs out loud, like, guys, we can hear you. Buffalo's coming off a bye week, which means 2 extra weeks to overthink everything and lose to somebody that they should probably destroy, but you could totally see them dropping this one too. So did you notice something about the Baltimore Ravens last week? They're taking on the Chicago Bears this week, but last week they were up against the Rams, and the Rams made all sorts of mistakes. They were blowing kicks. They were losing receivers mid-game. They still walked out of there with a multi-score victory because at this point, kind of functioning is enough against Baltimore. I think there's, like, with Lamar Jackson potentially being out this week too, their season might be just completely over. He might just not come back for a lot this year. Matthew Stafford was committing war crimes against that Ravens defense. Meanwhile, the Bears have become America's weirdest feel-good story. Caleb Williams has finally started figuring it out, and Jake Moody suddenly matters. Who would have thought? At this point, I don't know. I don't see anything that the Ravens got going for them, but we'll see. Next up, you got the San Francisco 49ers going to Houston to play the Texans. Whoo! The Texans. Their offense has all of the explosiveness of a wet paper bag. CJ Stroud's getting sacked left and right out there, and DeMeco Ryans looks like he's frustrated enough that he might just go out there and suit up himself at this point. The 49ers are back to being an industrial machine despite all their injuries. Even with half of their stars in the medical tent, like I said, they just keep cloning linebackers out of nowhere who just hit people like moving cars, man. The Texans might hang around for like a series or two, but once Christian McCaffrey reaches that breaking point, it's over. Next up, you got a very interesting game for our friend Mikey. In a game, I really think the Saints have no chance. But there's something. I don't know. Last week, the Buccaneers did learn being a contender doesn't mean a goddamn thing when Jahmyr Gibbs decides to go all Need for Speed Detroit drift on national television. Baker Mayfield spent 4 quarters looking like the world's angriest Home Depot commercial. Meanwhile, in New Orleans, though, it's pretty much a funeral march at this point. The Saints are 1-6. Spencer Rattler throwing prayers to whoever's listening. You know, he's a very religious man. Kellen Moore is slowly realizing that head coach was actually a pyramid scheme all along. He's like, but I got involved in this goddamn Saints MLM and I don't have anything to show for it. So now we've got angry Baker versus a despairing Saints team in the Superdome. What do you think is going to happen? Next up, the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Denver Broncos. Dak Prescott's playing immaculate football lately. Everybody's talking about him as an MVP contender at this point. 264 yards, 3 touchdowns. Dallas's defense even remembered that it's legal to catch the ball, with Deron Bland turning into a human turnover slot machine at this point. Sean Payton might actually smile again if he learns how to, actually call an entire football game. Somebody's offense is leaving this game with a restraining order. The Tennessee Titans are going to Indianapolis to play the Colts. I think. Because I'm pretty sure the Titans are actually just a group of fans who are cosplaying as a football team at this point. Mike McCoy's interim debut went so poorly that fans started chanting for the guy who fired him. The Colts are just punching people in the mouth at this point. Jonathan Taylor's on his I Lift Tractors for Fun tour. And Daniel Jones is efficiently terrifying under Shane Steichen's playbook, which is something I never thought I'd say in 2025, but we're also like halfway through the season, so maybe I should just get used to it at this point. Indy is probably going to run away with this one, but I guess technically the Titans could win. Ooh, we got a good one in Pittsburgh this week, y'all, and I don't normally say that about the Pittsburgh Steelers. But you got the Green Bay Packers coming to town. Aaron Rodgers' team that he spent most of his career with and beat the Steelers in a Super Bowl with. So, and now you got, Micah Parsons on the Packers, and it's going to be a real good time, man. I don't know who's going to win, but I know I will desperately be rooting for the Packers to stick it to Aaron Rodgers. Finally, the Monday Night Football game. You got the Washington Commanders going to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Washington got their spine removed from them on live television last week. Jaden Daniels got hurt again. Marcus Mariota is back in action again. They're basically waving a white flag made of duct tape. Mahomes is all the way back. Rashee Rice is back on the field. Kansas City's defense looks meaner than a Reddit thread after a blown parlay, and Arrowhead's gonna eat Mariota alive if he so much as blinks wrong. I would love, with everything in me, for the Chiefs to lose this football game, but, like, do you think that's gonna happen? Alright, so the previews are all done. We've got the good, we've got the bad, and we've got the games that make me want to shove little tiny needles into my eyes because I can't imagine why anybody would want to watch these fucking football games. But we're all going to be subjected to it, apparently. But it is now time for the segment that guarantees getting yelled at by at least 5 different fan bases and probably like 40 different people that talk to me throughout the week. So Mikey, go ahead and make my day worse.
What's up, man? Kyle, you said making your day worse. Well, at least your team didn't lose to the guy that basically caused your team to have so many problems now. Anyway,
getting your ass whooped by Dennis Allen, that's got to be a special level of trauma that I haven't experienced since at least 2005.
Bro, it's like, man, this dude really ruined our team, and then he comes back and spits and dances and pisses all over the grave anyways.
Every week, innocent Saints fans are forced to watch garbage defense, missed tackles, and sometimes even Mac Jones looking elite, delivered straight into their living rooms. And they're hurting. Right now, somewhere in Louisiana, a fan is whispering "Who dat?" in false hope and agony. For just $18 a month, roughly the price of half a beer at the Superdome, you can adopt a suffering Saints fan and give them something they've never known, a real team to believe in. Your adoption provides hope, stability, and maybe even a secondary that knows where the goddamn ball is. And when you call in the next 30 minutes, you'll receive a photo of the fan you saved, the look of recognition on their face as they realize that football doesn't always have to suck this bad. Please, call now. Because at this very moment, a Saints fan is pretending their defense is rebuilding, even though it's been under construction since 2021. Please, call today before Dennis Allen hurts them. Again.
But anyways, that's another conversation for another day. Let's get these power rankings up and rolling. Why not? Number 10, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just got them in the top 10 because, they did play good against the Bengals. Not good enough to win, which is why they fell a few spots, but they still played like a good team. And I never thought I would say this, but the Steelers' offense is carrying their team in the year 2025. You would think that defense, because that defense is usually great, but the offense, I don't know what got it. Like, if you put the Steelers' 2025 offense on the 2024 team, that's probably the best in the league. Like, I'm being honest with you.
Hey, Mikey.
What?
Their offense wasn't good enough this week. Let's go!
I mean, I think
fuck you, Pittsburgh.
Their offense is good this week, just not,
not good enough.
Yeah, basically.
Where was that magical Hail Mary, Aaron Rodgers? Bitch-ass Steelers fans.
Number 9, we got the Seattle Seahawks. I think they are a dark horse team to maybe be in the Super Bowl this season. That's not my prediction, but I think they are a dark horse team to make it through the NFC personally. Sam Darnold playing at an MVP level. Their defense is playing pretty well. Other than that Tampa Bay game, but we don't talk about that over here. And the receiving room is probably one of the better ones in the league if Cooper Kupp can actually be good.
Right now, it's 7-0, and it's like the middle of the first quarter, so obviously we don't know what's going to happen in this game. But if the Seahawks do win this game, which they should, does that move them in the rankings?
Maybe. I think it'll be like either 7 or 8. We got the San Francisco 49ers as they just beat the Dirty Bird Atlanta Falcons, something the Buffalo Bills couldn't do. Anyways,
still got the Bills higher, though.
They lucky. But yeah, fun fact, I know this has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but Jake Moody, the old 49ers kicker, he scored the same amount of points that the Saints did on Sunday when he played against the Saints. True story. But yeah.
That's got to be a kick in the nuts.
Yeah. I see what you did there. But yeah, 49ers, they're number 8. They just beat the Falcons. You know, the Falcons going to Falcons. That's not really a surprising win. But hey, with Mac Jones starting, I think they've only lost one time. So it's like they're playing pretty well under the new regime. And when I say new regime, I mean Mac Jones. But yeah, 49ers are at number 8. Kyle, you have any questions, comments, or concerns?
I don't think they're planning on sticking with Mac Jones, if I had to bet.
I mean, I would. He's definitely playing miles better than Brock Purdy. Number 7, we got the LA Rams. They went to London. And oh boy, I don't know what Jacksonville did in the U.S. to piss them off, but oh boy, that was a slacking. This man, Devontae Adams, had 3 touchdowns on his own. It's like, bro, Matthew Stafford was slinging and dicing over there in London. But hey, Travis Hunter, though, got his first career touchdown, so good for him.
The Rams smacked the Jaguars all the way out of the top 10.
Yeah.
It's like, get out.
Number 6, we got the Philadelphia cheesesteaks, as I like to call them. As boy, man, they played against Carson Wentz, and they're like, man, we like Nick Foles better. So they done beat the Vikings, bro. The offense actually looked promising. The defense still needs a little bit of work, but hey, Brandon Graham came out of retirement, so we'll see how that works out with the Eagles. They're still not a top 5 team for me because that Giants game still reeks in my brain. But it's like, if you can do that on a consistent basis, you could find yourself back in the top 5. Let's get to the number 5 football team that I decided.
They're not number 36 anymore.
Yeah, I was thinking about putting them at like number 38. But no, I put them at number 5. Like, a lot of people are saying the Bills are frauds or whatnot. I mean, this happens to the Bills every year. Like, they always have this couple games where it's like they look like one of the worst teams in football. But then the next week they'll drop 30 points on whoever they feel like. So yeah, Bills. I'm keeping them at number 5. They're definitely probably gonna go up. If I had to imagine, especially coming off of a bye, losing to the 35th worst team in the league, the Atlanta Falcons, is never good luck. So
yeah, but the concern about the Bills that I think a lot of people have is not just this past week. The first 2 weeks, the Bills looked like juggernauts, and then they, come out, they beat the Dolphins, but not super decisively. They beat the Saints, but not super decisively. They lose to the Patriots, and they lose to the Falcons. I think that's what people's concern is.
Yeah, and those are fair concerns, but like I said, this happens to the Bills with every single year, so I'm not really putting too much stock into that personally.
So now that the game's over, the Lions beat the Buccaneers. Do they move up?
Yeah, they do. However, where I put them, I don't know, to be honest. Because, the Chiefs did...
Well, there's only so many places to move up. You can only move to 3 or 2, or maybe 1 if you really want to push it.
No, this is one thing I probably would do. I'll probably, unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, I'll probably put the Chiefs at 1, Detroit at 2, Indy at 3, and then...
The Chiefs at 1?
Hey, I'll make the rules. I just enforce them.
This is the most short-sighted shit I've ever heard in my life. The Chiefs at what? Because they blew out the Raiders? The 4-3 Chiefs are the number 1 team in the NFL?
Who else am I supposed to put?
I don't even agree that the Chiefs are should be at number 3. I think that's ridiculous.
What about the Lions? What's your excuse for that game?
No, they beat the Lions. Maybe the Lions shouldn't be the number 1 team either. But just because they beat the Bengals beat the Steelers. Why are they at number 17?
Because
they beat a top 10 team. They should be in the top 10. Apparently, they should be number 1.
Because the Chiefs are the Chiefs.
I'm just saying, for a team that's that close to being under 500 to be number 3, to me, is kind of suspect.
Obviously, record matters, but I also look on how you win games, who you play, and the Chiefs, man, they played pretty good football the last few weeks, plus they did all that without Rashee Rice. Now they got Rice back, and you saw how good their offense was yesterday, and I understand they played the Raiders, but you even said it yourself. You thought the Raiders had a chance to beat the Chiefs because they usually have close games.
No. I need to clarify that. I said I have this weird feeling because they beat them at the most random times, and it makes no sense when they do it, but they do.
So we all agree the Saints are the number 1 team this week, right?
Didn't you lose to Dennis Allen?
You had to bring that up.
You asked.
Bro, you know what that game reminds me of? Kyle, let me ask you. This might be a little bit personal, but just hear me out. Do you have an ex-girlfriend by chance?
Yeah, several.
Okay, well, so you should know this feeling. Basically, what happened to me yesterday, it was like when you watch your ex succeed with a different man while you are failing at life.
Can't say I've had the issue.
What'd you say?
Can't say I've had the issue.
Well, that's basically what yesterday was. Dennis Allen's the ex in this case, and he did better than us and the Bears are the new man in the situation. But depression lies down deep. But hey, number 2 team is the Indianapolis Colts, man. Colts. Boy, imagine saying that before the season. People would probably have you executed for that. But man, the Colts.
I don't know about executed. Now, I might execute people. Like, at the beginning of the season, I might execute people if they tell me that Indiana Jones is going to be a thing.
Man, bro, the Colts, who they played yesterday? Oh, yeah, the Chargers, man. Like, honestly, I might make an argument for the Colts being the number 1 team. Like, the Chargers, they were a top 10 team a couple weeks ago, but then they decided to be garbage all of a sudden. But, man, when I tell you them Colts came out for blood today or yesterday, man, they put up 38 points on a good Chargers defense, man. That was insane. I understand Khalil Mack. I don't think he was playing, but if he was, then oh, bye. But it's like the Chargers had one of the better defenses, and the Colts were like, we don't care. Man, can we just acknowledge the script writers? Let's stop it up for the script writers, man. Because they got in their bags with this one, man. But yeah, Colts number 2. And my former number 1 team is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They scored 9 points against Detroit, so I don't even know what to tell you. Lord, if you can hear me, please let the Saints beat the Bucs. Just give me this one.
So where are the Buccaneers going now that they lost? And who's your new number 1 team?
Honestly, there is a potential where you might call me stupid and crazy, but I'm thinking the Colts are the number 1 team.
I'm not going to call you stupid and crazy because you have a valid point. I just hate you.
What would you rather me do? Put the Colts up here or the Steelers?
Well, the Colts easily. I mean, first of all, the Colts are justifiable as the best team. The Steelers just lost to a team who we thought their season was over last week.
Let's see. Where would I put Tampa? Let's see. There, I would put them below the Colts. Probably either at 3 or 4. I do think Tampa. I mean, they only scored 9 points on a Monday night, so a lot of people had to stay up for that bull crap. But also, fuck you.
Well, anyway, now that we've got that nonsense out of the way, now we're gonna bring you some niche nonsense. You see what I did there, Mike? You see? Yeah. There we go. Okay, shut up. All right, now go watch Nick and Jake, and then yeah, we'll see you next week.
What is going on, you guys? It is Nick.
It is Jake.
And this is week 7 of Niche Nonsense.
Yes, that's right.
Start us off, Jake. What do we got?
So, in week 7 of Niche Nonsense, obviously, I mean, this goes for all weeks.
Yeah.
But as a fan, obviously, you want your team to win.
Yeah.
But in the event that you're losing, the worst thing that you can be watching is a blowout game.
Because it's so uninteresting if it's a blowout. There's no really point to watching. A lot of people just turn it off if their team is
close,
just so
then,
far behind.
Yeah, if it's close, you can find good parts of certain games.
Yeah, I mean, if
then maybe it's not
close,
that bad.
it's super entertaining to watch because you're just on the edge of your seat the entire time. But blowouts truly are awful to watch on the losing team side.
True.
And the winning side's not even that interesting either. But it's unfortunately, we did have some big blowouts this week. Starting off with the Raiders and the Chiefs game, and that was a huge blowout because
it was,
the Raiders scored 0 points against the Chiefs 31. So like even
unfortunate for Raiders
their
fans.
offense isn't very good because they didn't score, and then their defense wasn't either because it was the biggest point gap of the week.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that being the biggest point gap of the week, it makes you wonder, like, what's the biggest point gap of history?
Well, I mean, for this season alone, you had the Bengals versus the Vikings a few weeks back.
To bring up
There
bad
was
memories.
a 38-point difference between that one. So, like, that one wasn't a very fun watch as a
definitely
Bengals
not.
fan. Sorry to bring up some bad memories for you, Kyle. But
Yeah.
they have the win. They're the ultimate champion.
I don't think
ultimate
I
lose.
hardly doubt he wants to hear any more of that.
Exactly.
We have the most
Move on.
the most point gap we were able to find from like ever in history was the Bears versus Redskins game all the way back in 1940. I mean, it was that long ago.
What was the score?
The Bears won. I believe it was 73-0.
73 points.
Yes.
That's
It's
actually
so rare. Like
super
you
surprising.
you never see that.
Because I mean, you don't have scores that even add up to 73, like combining the two.
Yeah.
And it's very rare for it to go all the way up.
Right.
And also that the opposing team did score.
It hardly ever
whatsoever.
happens.
So, like, that sucks.
Yeah, so rare because of how like long ago it actually was.
So one thing that we wanted to do this time is we want to revisit a question that we had one of the earlier weeks of Niche Nonsense.
Going
of,
back.
Is it better to be home or away? I wanted to answer that question again today, and we
can
found
try
out
again.
that there was 9 home victories.
Yes,
those
all of
being,
those 9 lists. Like, let me consult my notes here. We have the Bengals, the Bears, the Browns, the Chiefs, Broncos, Cowboys, 49ers, Lions, and Seahawks all won their respective home games.
Yeah, and then the away games was the Eagles, Panthers, Patriots, Colts, and the Packers.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's
a lot more home victories.
9-5. I mean, that's a pretty skewed ratio. It like really sells the idea that the home field advantage is very much a real
that
thing.
saying that people say it is true.
Yeah, it's true.
And this week proves it, and even the last time we covered this topic also proved.
Make sure when you're watching football that you stay home.
Oh, yeah.
Cancel plans if you have them. You want to be at your house when you're watching football.
Way safer because it's the only way to stay safe while watching football. Shut yourself indoors.
Yes, the only way to win these football games is by staying at your house.
It is time for our super awesome predictions that we have for you guys.
Our first prediction is going to make Kyle very happy.
Oh,
but
yeah.
the Bengals are going to crush the Jets with an 800-point difference.
800.
Yes.
You heard us correct.
Never
It's
before
gonna happen.
seen. Yes.
I mean, see it to believe it. Get ready to
it'll
watch
happen.
that
It'll
game
happen.
because they're making history next
one.
time. So the Bills versus the Panthers game will actually switch locations. They're not going to be playing in the field. They're going to be playing in your house.
Yes, that's right. Because better be home, so they're going to be at your home. And the third and final prediction is popcorn is going to taste twice as good as it normally does.
I mean, I like popcorn.
You're going to love it twice
It's
as
just
much.
going to taste better.
It's going to taste better
universally across the board.
Absolutely.
That is
Thanks
all
for
the time
tuning
we
in.
have.
See
Thank
ya.
you guys, and
Thank you.
see you next time.